Welcome to the trade recap for Euro Australian dollar. This is your boy PhoenixRyzun, and let's take a deep dive as to why we bought this when we did using the Forex code. I won't be revealing the ins and outs of the Forex code, but I'll let you in on a little bit of kind of the methodology of it all. So this is the monthly chart. First things first, we're going to look at the previous monthly candle. So this is the current, and then the previous one is right here. So as you can see, the previous low, the previous month low was tagged. The lowest here was 717, and then it was tagged at 631. So that's our basically first real sign that there are buys that potentially could be triggered. So we'll go down to the monthly time frame. You go to the monthly time frame here, and this trade was taken on the 30th of October. So this candle is part of that. So you look at the previous weekly candle. So here's the previous low of the weekly candle, and again, the lows of this current week sweep those previous lows, which adds on as another confluence. So we wiped out monthly and we wiped out previous week. Let's go to the daily. And for the daily, we're actually going to have to go back a little bit here. So these lows were right here. That's from the previous week. And then on the 3rd of November, that's when we finally swept those previous lows for the week. So this shows you what's happened on the weekly, on the previous time frame. But on the daily, on that day, we actually also swiped the previous day lows. So when we swiped the previous week lows, we also swiped the previous day lows, which is another confluence. So we swiped both monthly, weekly, and daily. So once we do that, then we're also going to just go to the smaller time frames here. We're going to put a vertical line here because this is kind of what we're looking at. Go to the 3-hour time frame. All right, so that's what we're looking at is right here. That's when we finally tagged the previous week lows, and then the previous day is in somewhere in here. If you want to get like super technical, you could just map out those levels on your own with horizontal lines. But just for the sake of just quickly going over this, I won't go ahead and do that. So if you use the smart money concepts, you'll have like some different things available. You'll have the discounts, and you'll have the premiums, and then you have the equilibriums. I don't really care about the equilibrium. I'm just more like trying to keep price in a box. So there's also internal like blocks as well, swings. So this big red is like where you would look for sells off the swing, and then the blue being where you would look for buys off the swing. So we didn't actually end up pushing down into the blue, but we got into this discount area right here. So we swiped all those lows, and then we're in a discounted area. So now once we do that, we're looking right here. This is on the 3-hour time frame, so you can go down to the 1 hour. And the 1 hour is going to be basically this candle right here. And then you can go even smaller. So you can just keep on going down and down until you actually like see some structure, right? So that's what we marked up. Again, these lows got swiped right here. So we're looking at this candle right there. And this is the 30. We're not going to go any lower than the 15-minute. If we don't see anything on the 15-minute, then you kind of just wait and see. You can kind of wait for more confirmation. You can use EMAs or trend lines or whatever you want to do. But everybody has their own way of doing it. Okay, so we have the swipe right here. So you have this push down, breaks that low. So monthly, weekly, daily, all swiped through. Now we're just kind of looking for like maybe even a candlestick pattern or some sort of like break of trend line. Again, you can mark it up however you want to mark it up. We'll pull out the trend line just for the sake of it. We can draw it from like up here, like this. People draw it differently. You can even draw it like that. I mean, right here, you may have gotten in early, but again, this was before the swiping of all the lows and the highs. So this would have been like a false break, if you want to call it that. So price continued, and then it finally swept those lows, then came up and closed above the trend line, retested the trend line, when consolidated. And the consolidation is, for me, in my book, better than falling back underneath the trend line. So I'll be looking for entry somewhere in here if that's what I'm going for. And at the same rate, that's when you can also look for that this is essentially push up, and then here's a consolidation, like a flag pattern, and then it just takes off, right? So there is the breakdown for Euraud. Our entry was a little bit later, a smidge later, but we had to get a little bit more like confluence and want things to like perfectly play out to where we're not getting in too late and we're also not getting in too early. So we ended up getting in about 76 to 78, which was right before we actually had our second pop off. So here's the initial, came back down, consolidated, and then it popped off. Price continued to just go sideways, even came back close to our entry, like really close after we hit take profit 1 on the green line. And then came back to take profit 1, exceeded, pushed up to take profit 2, swept that. And then since then, price has hit take profit 3, and we're just chilling right now at trailing our stops as price continues to go up. If price pushes down any low, probably around 77 flat, which is about right here, or even 77.4, then we'll probably be out of this position entirely. But as you can see, breaking it down from higher time frame all the way to the lower time frames, you want to make sure that your levels are hit, swept through, and then you start looking for a rejection and reversal, either a candlestick pattern, harmonics, trend lines, supply and demand, however you want to do it. That's your own personal fit and your own personal way of doing it. But those are the tricks of the trade. And that was your Euro Australian dollar trade recap. Thank you.